Hey guys, a lot of you just subscribed to my channel from Dabu7, and I just wanted to say thank you. But I also want to give you a quick rundown about one of the topics that I talk about quite a bit on my channel, and it's dioxin. And I get a lot of strikes on YouTube regarding this subject. So me making this video right now for you to kind of help give you a rundown is a little risky. I got a strike less than a month ago because I was attempting to show the correlation between dioxin exposure and symptoms that are similar to, let's just say, the cough that a lot of people have been experiencing lately. Now, the reason why I focus in on dioxin is because it's a major industrial pollutant. All right. And these incinerators that operate outside of regulations, they produce tons and tons of the stuff every day. And I literally mean tons of it. Okay. They take all this medical waste, industrial waste, garbage, garbage from local municipalities. They burn it, and when they incinerate it, it creates dioxins and furans and mercury and all kinds of stuff that is just terrible for human health. And these things have been increasing in the last few years. Now, the reason I was concerned about the chicken feed being contaminated with dioxin is because Ireland just had feed which was verified to be contaminated with dioxin. Taiwan just rejected like 14,000 pounds of hairy crabs from China that were poisoned with dioxin. And now the state senators in Oregon are starting to be concerned about the incinerators in their state. They're actually thinking about placing regulations on their municipal incinerators. So this topic is getting quite a bit more attention now all of a sudden, and I have proposed in the past that a lot of these symptoms that people are experiencing are due to the increased amount of dioxin in the environment. Now, why would I say that? Okay, there are two methods used to destroy dioxin. Okay, dioxin is primarily destroyed by ozone and UV radiation. Right? Where does that occur? It occurs at high altitude. Okay, the problem with that is some of the dioxin makes its way back down to the ground. It gets on the grass, it gets on the flowers. The animals eat the grass, and the bees get on the flowers, the pollinators get on the flowers. And what happens is when they consume that dioxin, it destroys their DNA's ability to replicate, and it destroys or it messes with the interaction between proteins. So you can get genetic problems. You can get problems like chronic wasting disease, mad cow disease, all kinds of genetic problems, right? And then if this stuff finds its way in the food that you eat, then it can cause problems in the human body as well. And like let's say because dioxins are halogen gas. It's a halogen gas. Let's say theoretically they spray it in high altitude in the sky. Because it's a halogen, it's heavier than air, so it'll tend to pool up in like flood zones. So if you're spending all day in a flood zone area or an area that is really low, and they're spraying this stuff in the sky to get rid of it, well, it's going to pool up in the flood zone where you're at, and you're going to start experiencing things like lipid peroxidation in the lungs. Okay, dioxin will oxidize the lipids in your lungs, and that'll show up as like a persistent cough that doesn't go away. All right, it oxidizes the fatty tissue in your lungs. It's terrible, right? And it also destroys your immune system. It'll make you feel weak. It'll make your brain feel cloudy. Uh, if you get continued exposure on your skin, it'll create something called chloracne. Go ahead and look it up. It can look very similar to like smallpox or monkeypox. Um, and there's very little you can do about it. Very, very little treatment that works against it. Because it's not a virus, it's not a bacteria, it's not, so you go in there with a cough. If that's not in the forefront of the doctor's mind when they're you know uh, assessing your symptoms, then they might treat you for something else. So, but anyways, it causes long-term health effects in the human body, especially on the reproductive systems. Now, you've seen what happened in Vietnam after they sprayed Agent Orange all over the place. You had all these genetic defects in the kids. People became infertile, and the plants were also infertile. It destroyed the plants. Well, Agent Orange is a dioxin. As far as I'm concerned, that was a experiment that they tested in Vietnam to see how much they could get away with spraying in an environment. How much of the dioxin could they get rid of in the environment before it took a noticeable effect and a noticeable toll on the population? Well, they got their data. Okay, they got their data, and I'm telling you, they analyzed the environment, the situation, and they're able to know what they can get away with without people noticing right away. Okay, so I've done a lot of videos on this subject, on how you can respond to dioxin in your environment and in your body, and what are some of the things that you can do if you think you've been exposed to dioxin or poisoned with dioxin. And I want to say, I'm not a medical expert. I'm just a guy that likes to read, and I like to read about this topic specifically. Okay, so I can tell you that there has been studies which show that xanthohumol helps to protect your DNA against the long-term effects of dioxin exposure. All right. Xanthohumol is primarily found in hops. Now, I'm not telling you to go drink IPA beer, but IPA beer has a lot of hops in it. But you might want to do some research in that subject right there. Look up xanthohumol. They have it isolated in pill form too. So, if you're concerned about eating food which is contaminated with dioxin, there have been studies which show chlorophyll helps to absorb dioxin in your intestinal tract, and it might even help to get rid of dioxin in your body, in your cells as well. And it'll help to expel the dioxin out of your body if you've eaten it, right? Ethanol also destroys dioxin. So, if you wash, I'm just postulating, if you wash your food in beer, or if you use beer as a ingredient in preparing your food, it could potentially help to reduce the amount of dioxin in your food. So there are things you can do. It's not something that your hands are tied in, So anyways, guys, thank you for subscribing to my channel. I hope that my content is valuable to you. If you like what I do, please hit that like button. Leave a comment in the comment section below. Share the videos with your friends. If you want to support my channel, there'll be a link in the description box below where you can buy me a coffee. And as always, don't forget, help out your neighbors.